Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Ninjutso Katana Superlight mouse that was sent to me by Lethal Gaming Gears themselves for my honest review. This mouse goes for $90 US, weighs 60 grams, which is apparently the lightest wireless mouse on the market. And it has some pretty unique and cool features that I wanted to talk about. Now before we get into all of that, let's go into the unboxing. So in the box, you get the mouse, of course, the USB receiver, but I want you guys to make sure you look closely because that USB receiver is actually in the foam of the box. I did not know that. I almost threw the foam away. Really weird packaging choice. I don't really agree with that. I think they should have made it a bit obvious where that thing was, because without it, well, you obviously can't use the mouse wireless. You also get the charging wire and a wire extender, which is a USB-A to USB-A just in case the wire in the box is not long enough. The first thing I want to talk about is how it charges. So the way it charges is via a magnetic charger, which means it is not compatible with like your standard USB-C or micro USB. This is a proprietary cable, which means if this breaks, we don't really know how much it'll cost if you have to buy another one, because as of right now, you cannot buy another charger wire for this mouse. The other thing I wanted to talk about via charging is the fact that in front of the mouse where it charges, I think it's a bit too far forward that it could be easily damaged if you're not careful. So what I mean by that is the port where the magnetic kind of like attaches to could have been a little bit further back into the mouse, I believe, because the fact that it's so far up, I kind of wonder if like I push it up against the wall or something, what would hit first, the mouse or the charger port? And you know, if the charger port gets hit, well then you're kind of screwed and out of luck. The next thing I wanted to talk about is what makes this mouse very unique and why people are somewhat interested in this mouse in general. And that is the shape. Now this is a very tall mouse. So what I mean by that is the hump on the back of it is very high, and on their website they say it fits all grip styles that most people use. But I'm here to say that in my personal opinion, that is not true. I don't really think most grip styles feel good on this mouse if you have smaller hands like me. Like my hands aren't like massive, and I think if you have bigger hands then maybe it'll work for your grip styles, but because the hump is so big, if you have small hands, I think the only comfortable grip style is just laying your hand on the mouse. There are two main things I like about this mouse. Obviously the sensor is the PAL 3370 sensor, which is very well regarded, and coming from my Razer Viper Ultimate, it honestly felt the same. I was pleasantly surprised. Like I really like how the sensor feels, and I have no complaints with that. The other thing I wanted to talk about are the switches for the clicks. They sound very nice, they feel very good, and they have like a really cool sound to them, if that makes any sense. Another great thing about this mouse is the feet that it comes with. So these are PTFE feet and they feel very nice. They have great glide right out the box. The feet don't really have to be changed in my opinion. I think they feel great, and you shouldn't have any bad experiences with them either. The one thing I kind of didn't like though is that the side buttons I feel like protrude a bit too much from the mouse. I feel like they could have been flushed out a little bit more so the side buttons weren't like too out there, because when you're holding the mouse, sometimes it feels like your hand or your thumb kind of like touches them and it's sort of uncomfortable, and you have to reposition your hand so your thumb isn't on top of those buttons. The two things I wanted to talk about, going back to the sensor and the switches, is what they start off as. So right when you plug in this mouse, they will default to 12 millisecond debounce time for the clicks, which is pretty damn high. And the mouse starts off at 500 Hertz instead of 1000. So it's not a plug and play mouse. You can't just plug it in and use it right out the box. And I think that's kind of a missed opportunity. I don't know why they would start off the mouse at 500 Hertz and just nerf it for no reason. So you're basically nerfing it for people that don't know how to use your software or, you know, install it. The software is very easy to use, But if we're talking about someone that doesn't know a lot about technology or doesn't want to go through the hassle and just wants to use a mouse, then they're obviously going to have worse performance than people that actually go into the software, because 12 millisecond debounce time is way too high and 500 Hertz is way too low, especially when it can go up to 1000. Using this mouse in practice, it feels very good because of that 60-gram weight. I played multiple games with this for long hours, and it was like Valorant, CSGO, Overwatch, OS. So there's a lot of different games I played with this mouse, even like League of Legends. I basically did everything with this mouse for like a week or more. And sometimes I felt like the center of my palm did get tired because of how sharp that hump is in the back. And I think maybe that's because I have small hands, but this could also happen to you, so I'm just pointing it out. Overall, this mouse does resemble the G Pro X Superlight a lot. Like, it's even the name Superlight, and the design looks very similar as well. But even the G Pro X Superlight has a smaller hump than this mouse itself. So if you thought the G Pro X Superlight hump was too tall, then definitely don't consider this mouse. I'd say this mouse is pretty decent. I know I kind of was a bit harsh, but I think all of these things needed to be said. I just don't like the shape. Like, unfortunately, that's my biggest complaint. So if you do like taller shaped mice, I would definitely recommend you check this out. But if your hands are smaller and you want to do like a claw grip or a fingertip grip, I don't really recommend this mouse at all for those grip styles. Other than that, let me know what you guys think about this mouse in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.